I built this scenario with two ship of MiG-27s doing a runway attack, one with rockets, one with bombs, multiple passes, and your goal is the F-15 on the ground is to get airborne any way you can and try to stop the threat immediately. Okay, so as the two ships are approaching, the F-15C is located on the east side of the field in a parking spot, and you see the target area for the top two ship coming in from the northwest is that part of the runway, and the other part of the runway is the other bombing spot for the other two ship coming in. And the F-15 is on the east side of the ramp. It could be using a parallel taxiway or possibly using the ramp itself as a takeoff surface if needed. Let's use a measuring tool to see how far apart we are, how much time we have. So from the F-15 parking, the first two ships is about 6 miles, 6.5 miles coming inbound. And then from the F-15 to the other two ship coming in, it's a little over 7 miles. So we don't have very much time here. In case something happens, we need like divert or something like that, or they can switch your attack to this other runway. It's about 19 miles away. So that's about the scenario as we look at it, as I'll set up graphically. Okay, so we're going to try to runway take off here with the inbound MiG-27s. Two ships, one attacking from the northwest, one attacking straight down the runway. Each element has one aircraft employing bombs, one aircraft element employing rockets. See the guys off to the right to the northwest are coming in pretty hot, 3 miles away. I'm not even in full afterburner yet. We'll see how well this turns out for me. First time I tried this, I got blown up on the runway by a bomb dropping on me, so I moved them out just a little bit for that. It should be fairly close. Alright, you should see the first bomb. There's bombs coming off the rack, and there comes the first rockets coming in. So we just get off the ground in time right there. Past the other two ship coming right down the runway. Today we're dropping flares. The good thing about the F-15 is there's a lot of excess power there, even though we're fully loaded with weapons and almost, well, we don't have 2 wing tanks, but we have 7 tanks, so we can come over the top about 200 knots off the end of the runway. The MiGs are climbing as well. I'm trying to get any sort of advantageous position. Here comes the AMRAAM off at the first target. Misses him, it's way too close, he can't handle the line of sight, so that's a miss. Targeting another MiG far away, about 3.6 miles away. There's an AMRAAM for him to think about. Now, I don't really pay attention to everybody. There's 4 airplanes chasing me, and I end up turning right here in front of somebody. And you'll see what happens here in just a minute. Hits that target. So right about in here, they're going to be gunned by a MiG-27. Right there. Half the tail comes off. And you hear Betty talking about engine fire left. So I've got engine fire left, and I lost half my right tail. How are we doing so far? So we really have nothing else we can do here. We can't land on the runway because it's cratered. There's no place really to divert with MiG chasing us, so we're going to basically stay on the offensive. So leave the left engine afterburner with the right engine, let it cook. I mean, until you're going to blow up, there's nothing else you can do. Just keep employing weapons against the enemy. And that's what we're going to do here. 2 behind me, 1 in front of me. Shoot AMRAAMs, everybody. So that airplane is still flying, so we're taking another AIM-120 shot at him. We'll see if this will be lethal or not from 3 miles out. There's impact, so he should be going down pretty soon. We got 2 more behind me. Yes, that's destroyed. It's 2 of the 4 down now. Turning back into the next 2 targets. AMRAAM there at the low target. There's an impact to the flash as well as the alert to the left side, and we have 1 more left to go. We're doing pretty good so far. The airplane's still flying, and bad guys are not shooting at us anymore. But we have a lot of things to think about down the road. We just gotta take care of this last threat. Except for the threat behind me didn't actually go down. So I'm wondering why is this guy still flying this airplane when he should be down, and now I gotta turn back around and get him first. So here we go. You see the damage of the right tail is half gone. We'll take an inspection here in just a minute and see how that looks. So I'm going to turn back around and intercept the guy that's chasing us a little bit here, and his MiG-27 that's been injured. Now, we'll talk a little bit about the emergency here we have in a minute by only having 1 engine really good and afterburner. You see the right engine's in afterburner. I've already secured the left engine back. So he's done. Time to turn back around and make sure that the MiG-27 doesn't come back and go after us while we're trying to land or something like that.
Left engine fire. Left engine fire.
So let's talk a little bit about this emergency. So I have a left engine fire. The tech order says you should eject if fire is confirmed. I don't have a confirmation yet. You see the right tail, half the tail is gone, as well as a lot of damage on the air wing. It looks like there could actually be fuel leaking out the left side. If that damage was all the way through the wing, probably be losing fuel. It may be coming out of the left side. Right tail looks pretty good. So kind of opposite damage, left wing, right tail. Left engine fire, so the left engine pulled back. It's actually off now. It's just Betty won't stop talking about it. So, but the airplane's still flying. That's the best thing about the F-15. It's a big airplane, very reliable airplane. It's still flying, so keep flying. Now I don't know sure what this MiG-27 is doing. Maybe he's in a landing pattern somewhere. I don't know, but he's not going to be around for much longer. Let's put it that way. I think it's just a computer AI just messing up with the where he's doing flying his airplane. But I'm about 5 miles out. Gonna meet Mr. Amram, and we'll see how this turns out for him. Probably not gonna be good in the end. So let's take a watch this for a minute.
Left engine fire. Left engine fire. Left engine fire. Left engine.
Here comes an Amram at him. I probably can't evade Amram with the gear down. There he is. Okay, now he's done. So there's the ejection. Airplane's going down. That's the four kills. But we have a problem on our hands because we have an engine fire, and we don't really have a good suitable runway nearby. So we're kind of heavyweight, so we're going to get rid of the centerline tank here. So we got the MiGs down, threats gone. Now we just got to get the airplane on the ground. So we're going to drop the centerline tank. There it goes. It's a lot of weight. We need maneuverability here. The issue here is, and I did actually sped this up a little bit and cut out some of the en route part, but we knew we were about 17, 18 miles away from the other field. But man, this is a very, very narrow runway. It's not very wide at all, and it provided a big challenge trying to land the airplane. That's where we're headed to our divert field. That's the only thing we got. Piece of concrete nearby we can try to put this airplane down on. So we'll let this run for a little bit, and you can watch as we maneuver here on our base turn. We'll bring the gear down here in just a minute, and once we can get this airplane slowed down, we'll get the flaps down and see if we can get this airplane slowed to land the airplane. The problem here is this airplane is really hard to slow down, and the slower I get, the more harder it's going to maneuver because I'm missing, like I said, a couple of flight control surface in the back right tail, plus the fire asymmetrical thrust a little bit, mostly yes, and the flaps are still up. So basically a no flap landing, high speed, and look how narrow this runway is. It's very narrow. There's no cables on it. Poses several different problems for us trying to land the airplane. So we're going to go around. We can get the gear up here in a minute and pull the gear back up. Loop back around and land from the opposite direction. So while we're doing all this maneuvering around, looking for a way to lay this airplane down safely at least, there's one last thing we gotta be thinking about is ejection, bailing out of the airplane. We're gonna let this airplane fly for so long, and then when it stops flying, before that point, we need to think about what criteria we're gonna punch out of this airplane if we need to. So that was in the back of my mind coming down here. I'm like, okay, if I can't get this airplane down on the ground now, I'll probably never be able to get it down on the ground. And you know, I don't want to keep flying this airplane around if it's hard to control. So I get my decision criteria made in my brain of when I'm going to eject here. So once again, flaps up landing, no cable to catch the airplane at the end of the runway. What would you do? We'll see what happens here. Very narrow runway. Speed brake comes out, trying to slow down, I can't do it. Airplane's shaking, rocking, rolling.
Left engine fire.
Sorry to see you go.
Left engine fire. Left
Crossing the grass.
fire.
Not gonna happen.
Left engine fire. Left engine fire.
Here goes the F-15 down the runway. Hate to see that happen, but you gotta do what you gotta do to survive. Well, that was kind of a crazy mission. It was a lot of learning points there. I hope you got a lot to learn from the F-15. If you want to fly this mission, you just can download it off the site, and hopefully it turns out a little bit different or better for you. But it's always fun doing these air-based defense scrambles, and it's always different to engage almost every time. Thanks a lot. Take care.